The Australians had arrived and the first major battle was for the TEXACO trophy. In 1993 they'd waltzed through and won it 3-0. How would they fare in 1997? Well, Mark Pugach was there to find out.
6 wickets and 6 wickets read the scoreline, and in England's favour. Sometimes results can be misleading, but not in this case. England played superbly and Australia were, dare we say it, outclassed. In the field, England sparkled. They effected 6 run-outs, 4 with direct hits, and all the victims were top-order batsmen. In the second match at the Oval, the comical run-out of a beleaguered Mark Taylor said a lot about the lack of harmony in the Australian camp. He didn't play in the third game. England had followed up 1996's successful practice of picking a specialist one-day squad, and the call-up of both Adam Holyoake and, to the surprise of many, his 19-year-old brother Ben, paid off in style. Elder brother Adam had the satisfaction of hitting the winning runs in all 3 matches, scored 2 unbeaten half-centuries and bowled tidily and effectively at the death. His most important contribution was in the crucial win at Headingley in the opening match. Coming in at 40 for 4, with a target of 171 looking far from straightforward, he and his Surrey colleague Graham Thorpe knocked off the remaining 135 runs without further loss. Thorpe's innings was the best of the series by either side, and he was particularly severe on Shane Warne. Whereas England's spinner Robert Croft had bowled his turnovers for only 16 runs, Warne went for 46 from his.
Very nice 50, a welcome 50 for England, that is.
But that's cut away beautifully. Well, that was short, and it's hooked away. 6 runs, Holyoake's 50. Fine shot, Gillespie got fingertips on it. Noble effort to stop it, but it's obviously come out of the middle of the bat. And that's a fine performance by Adam Holyoake.
England's win came with almost 10 overs to spare, with each batsman scoring 7 boundaries. The winning runs came in style as Jason Gillespie, who like most of the Australian side looked short of practice, pitched short, and Holyoake pulled disdainfully for 6 into the Western Terrace. The highest score of the series came from the England skipper. Mike Atherton's unbeaten 113 at the Oval in the second match was the bedrock for another successful run chase, as England took an unassailable lead in the series. Atherton's style of play has long been criticised as unsuitable for one-day cricket, but it wasn't long ago that he was player of the series against the West Indies. In fact, prior to this series, he averaged over 45 in the Texaco Trophy, and he clearly relishes the challenge at home where, until next season, the ball is still red. Here, with a target of 250, he was at his tenacious best, playing second fiddle at first to Alex Stewart and then to Holyoake, but nevertheless managing to score at a run a ball for the second half of the innings.
That was a good length ball, looked as though it was at middle stump, and Atherton has smashed it away over mid-wicket.
Slower ball. This has been a good over for England. That's guided away for 2 more. 2 more that bring 100 up for Michael Atherton. Well, Australia's captain might be struggling. England's captain is in fine form. That's been a nicely paced innings for him. 100 out of 210 so far.
When the winning runs came with successive boundaries to Holyoake, 10 balls still remained, and Atherton was clearly delighted to have masterminded such an emphatic victory.
Holyoake and Atherton have seen England through. That is a terrific victory to follow on the one at Headingley. And England have won this Texaco series.
Australia's batting improved throughout the series, but it never knitted as a unit. Michael Bevan top scored in the first 2 games, and his 108 not out at the Oval was a classy innings. Bevan's one-day record is dazzling. He averages over 56, but he was the only Australian to produce his best form in the series. As ever, he was particularly strong square of the wicket, although his power through extra cover and mid-wicket is the most eye-catching feature of his play. But for all of Bevan's endeavour, the Australian innings was more notable for its 4 run-outs, as England contained Australia on a good pitch.
Have to be quick here. Oh, that is close.
Come on, come on!
Trouble here. Philip de Frey is in brilliantly.
Me! Come on, come on! Hey!
Well, it's a direct hit.
Only Mark Waugh, of Australia's regular Test batsman, made a significant impact on the series. His 95 in the last match at Lord's was typically elegant, containing 12 fours, with Chris Silverwood in particular being punished for a wayward spell with the new ball in his only game of the series. But Silverwood's Yorkshire teammate Darren Gough was a different matter altogether. In each game he was England's most threatening bowler, and his return of 5 for 44 at Lord's was just reward for a fine series.
That's got him. Matthew Elliott's gone. Nice comfortable catch at second slip.
No doubt about that. That's another good catch. That came at a tremendous rate of knots to Nick Knight.
The other England bowler to pose problems throughout the series was Mark Elam. He produced the catch of the series to dismiss Slater off his own bowling at Leeds, and along with Holyoake proved the value of a tight line and varied pace.
Here's LBW.
England had already won the series by the time they went to Lord's, but they were determined not to allow Australia to recover any lost ground. That they succeeded was largely down to a phenomenal debut from the 19-year-old Ben Holyoake. Chosen to bat at number 3 in the pinch-hitting role he'd been given at Surrey, he smashed 63 runs from just 48 balls, including 11 fours and a mighty swept 6 off Shane Warne. Gillespie finally had Holyoake caught at gully, but the memory of his innings will live long in the minds of those who saw it. There were 50s too for Stewart and John Crawley, and an unbeaten 45 from Thorpe, which allowed the elder Holyoake to push the winning run once again, his collection of stumps growing by the day. For Australia, it was a dismal start to an important tour. For England, it was the start to the season they needed, and a vital boost before what would doubtless be a very long and testing summer.
Of 1997.
Heady stuff, but even the most fervent optimist would realise that the Test series could be a far sterner test for England.